everybody, and welcome to Roy's Basement. I mean, in the Workshed. Yeah, Workshed. Today we're going to talk about throwing weapons. Now the thing about throwing weapons at a game is you have to kind of remember that every time you use one, you've got like a 10% chance that you're never going to see it again. So maybe spending 20 bucks a piece isn't your idea of a good time. We have some ideas that have worked pretty well for just making them out of cheap duct tape and foam, but the problem with just cheap duct tape and foam is they end up pretty lightweight and they don't actually go anywhere when you throw them. So we have some ideas about how to deal with that. So here's a nice example of a basic throwing weapon that we had for several games that we've used it at, actually. But the key here is that it's filled with sand, so it has some heft and weight to it. And all you have to do for that is collect these four things. Oh, and a pair of scissors, which presumably you already own. But this is just some regular old sand, available where fine sand is sold. This is pipe foam insulation, available at most hardware stores. It's just a smaller version of that pool noodle foam. It works out a little better for small things. Regular old rope and some red duct tape for our project. So all you're going to do, pretty easy, just get your appropriate length. I like to go for 8 to 10 inches, but since I already have a guide here, I just copy it. This stuff, hollow in the middle, it does have this little seam on it that if you pull on it will break, so that'll just make your life harder. So try not to break it. Since it has these holes in the end, we're going to use another little piece here just to plug them up and give something to fill in the ends. Doesn't have to be real exact, just has to be enough to cover up the hole. And just cut the corners off so it's halfway around. Cram it in there. Beautiful. Take a piece of tape just to hold the first part in. Now, just to keep the crazy corners and stuff from popping up, I like to give some little notches to fold the tape down on so it lays flat. Then ideally you would have a funnel. Do we have a funnel, tech crew?
Yes, we have a funnel!
Alright. Very nice, thank you. Bug in the shot. Nice. Okay. Alright, so we've retrieved a nice silicone funnel here, so I don't make a huge mess in Roy's basement. But just fill it most of the way up. Oh man, I am making sand go everywhere. Roy's gonna kill me. Alright, so now that it's most of the way full, we're going to stop. Leave yourself a little bit of room up at the top because we have to give ourselves room to cram a rope in. We're just going to do a real simple fuse made out of just some regular old rope. Because real fuse is expensive and not very durable. But tie a knot in the end, just so there's something to hang on to. Just like that. Stick that down in your hole. Take another piece of your foam. Now, since this one has a piece of rope to worry about, I'm going to cut a little notch so it has somewhere to go. And then again, cut it to be halfway around. Don't have to be exact, it's foam, it'll move. But now, Okay, so that's the hard part done. It's got a little bit of room for the sand to flop around inside, which is actually desirable. It helps it give somewhere to go if you bean somebody in the head with it, if it still has some room to squeeze. And then, I find that this stuff, if you're real careful, just 3 pieces of duct tape evenly spread around the outside surface will go all the way around. Didn't get around with only 3. So Dynamite's pretty good for general purpose. Anybody pretty well knows what Dynamite looks like. We used it for cowboys, we used it for our World War I operations, and you could even use it today. It's a little bit out of fashion, but everyone pretty well knows what the cartoon stick of dynamite looks like. You can also get a little more specific. We got this potato masher grenade, same general principle, we just got some thicker foam on top, but it's still full of sand. You can use that for World War I, or if you have like a 40K thing going on, the orcs use that kind of grenade. Or you can also just have the generic pineapple grenade, circa 1917 or so. They use things like this all the way through modern times and probably well into the future, so anything that's even halfway realistic, probably find a use for this somewhere. This is again the same kind of thing, just a thicker piece of foam for the outside and then some creative foam cutting and ductwork, still full of sand. So there you go, quick and easy, and the total cost for one of these is about $1.50 by the time you've done it a few times, so you can make lots. We've been in the Workshed, thanks for watching.